Hey, you remember the island down in Marietta? Buckley Island?
That one in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we do a video about that?
That's an interesting place.
Now that we get some footage.
Yeah.
Hello there, parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. I'm your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
In this video, we are going to tell you about Buckley Island, which is down between Marietta and West Virginia. I don't know the town of West Virginia. But before we get into that, if you're into the paranormal, history, forensic, and travel type videos,
don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ding the little bell so you hear from us next time we post a new video.
So we were down in Marietta and spent the night at the Lafayette Hotel. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Went with your sister and we did a ghost tour down there and went to the Crawley People's Funeral Home and stuff. So at the end of that street, Front Street, I believe it is, you can look out and look down and see Buckley Island. And we knew that there were paranormal claims at Buckley Island, but we couldn't get to it. Right? Just recently...
Because we didn't have a boat.
Yeah, we didn't have a boat. But just recently, actually in September of 2024...
We took a ride.
We got closer to the island.
We didn't go and step foot on her.
No, but we went around the island.
We did. We did.
We took my mom down. It was my mom, my sister, brother-in-law, you, myself. We went down and went on a steam wheeler. And they go around Buckley Island and back.
Yes.
So we got some footage.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah. It's probably the closest we're going to get.
Yeah, we're not going to step foot on it. Actually, you can't. It's now... Anyways, you'll find out. All right. So, in true fashion of our haunted travels, we got to talk about the history a little bit.
That's right. Let's do it.
But we're going to share it with you just a little bit different.
What?
Well...
I don't
During the boat ride, he was telling us some of the history of the island.
That's true, he did.
So why don't we share that footage?
Okay.
There's one thing he doesn't... Well, there's several things he doesn't talk about. Okay. One of the things he doesn't talk about is... That's not in the history that you need to mention.
Oh, you mean that George Washington is actually the first person to make reference to it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What was
so
the
the
year?
earliest known reference to the island is in 1770 in a journal entry that George Washington wrote when he was surveying the area.
Right. And I forgot to mention that this location is in the database, Panic D database. It is location 2106, Buckley Island. It's an island. That's where it's located. Is it open to the public? I don't think it is. It might be. It's a federal wildlife reserve now. But the only way you can get to it is by boat. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you for that additional history.
Well, you know, there's always a couple little history tidbits.
Yeah. All right. Let's play this clip. The history from the guy driving the boat. He's telling the history while he's driving the boat. Okay. It's not going that fast.
Yeah.
All right. Let's watch this. We'll be right back.
Fort Hamilton Kerr and his father had a cabin and some gardens on the island with the settlement Marietta. Early pioneers were mostly Revolutionary War officers. They remembered the smallpox epidemic that occurred during the Revolution. So they built a couple of cabins on the island. They would call these the sick houses, and anyone that would arrive in Marietta they suspected had smallpox, they would quarantine at the island. 1837, the Buckeye Gas Pipeline Company purchased the island. They cleared off the upper end. They made improvements to the beaches. They used this as an employee park, and it would grow in popularity. So eventually, it would open up to the general public. They had a large wooden roller coaster. They had a carousel. They had pavilions where they could seat 10,000 people, and bowling alleys and barbecue pits, and a couple of ferry boats that ferried folks from the Marietta city front to the upper end of the island. That amusement park was destroyed in a flood in 1913, and it would never be rebuilt. The island would go into farming. The last family that farmed this island was the Buckley family, and Howard Buckley enjoyed being over there so much in the mid-20s. He built a house and 3 barns on the upper end of the island. He then moved over to the island to live there year-round. Howard would continue farming up until 1955. He would then retire. Go back to a place he had in Williamstown. He would let the island sit idle from then on. Howard's wishes were the island never be commercially developed, and there were several offers made to purchase the island, but it wasn't really what Howard wanted to see happen to it, so he never did sell it. Eventually, Howard would pass away, and in the early 90s, Howard's nephew would sell the island to the federal government. This is now one of 22 islands that make up the Ohio River Islands National Wildlife Refuge. One of the first
Okay, so that gives you the basic history of Buckley Island.
Yes.
But we're a paranormal channel, too. We cover history, paranormal, forensic, our experiences. You saw our experiences. We rode on that boat. It was actually kind of a fun thing. It was a couple hours. Mm-hmm. That was our experience.
It was nice, calm, relaxing.
Yeah. But there's paranormal stuff. There's a little bit darker history.
There is.
I don't know. We haven't done it in a long time. But I think it's time.
You're going to make this guy do some work.
I think we need to get our buddy Boris.
Yeah, I think he needs to earn his keep.
All right, Boris. Tell us some of the darker side and the paranormal of Buckley Island, West Virginia. Well, thank you. It has been a very long time since I've been able to speak and share my stories. But this one is a very interesting one, my friends. Buckley Island, situated on the Ohio River between Marietta and Williamstown, West Virginia, does not have a very happy history. It started in 1782 when a flatboat carrying settlers got disoriented in a thick fog and wrecked onto the eastern shore. As the travelers prepared to spend the night, a group of Native Americans raided the encampment, killing 2 men and carrying away the rest of the passengers off to fates unknown. After the settlement of Marietta was established, a pestilence house was built on the island. It became the final destination for many a victim of infectious diseases, along with an unlucky few who just happened to get a fever at the wrong time. To add to its grim reputation, my friends, between the years of 1875 and 1896, the island became a haven for debauchery and all things illegal under the ownership of a gentleman named Columbia Bland. Mostly this involved gambling, cockfighting, drunkenness, and much more. To improve the island's reputation, it was transformed into an amusement park in 1897. Less than a year after opening, my friends, tragedy would strike when a pleasure boat by the name of W.M. Duffy capsized while transporting thrill seekers to the park. Miraculously, only 3 people were killed. 9 years later, a flood destroyed the park, and the island was purchased by the Buckley family, who lived there for nearly 100 years before recently selling the land to the Ohio River Islands National Wildlife Refuge. Many visitors to the island have reported becoming overcome with strange feelings while hiking there, and they say that if you walk down to the banks of the river at night, you can hear the eerie sounds of days past coming from the now uninhabited island. Okay, he was in rare form.
Yeah, you could say that.
I think we need to use him more often. I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave us a comment. What do you think about Boris? Some of our past videos with Boris was not very nice in the comments, and he kind of like went on hiatus.
Yeah.
But then other people saying, I miss Boris. Where's Boris? We need Boris back. Let us know down in the comments. Are you pro Boris? No, he's not Count Chocula.
No.
What are some of those? Count Dracula. No, that's our buddy Boris. There is a video out there that gives the story of Boris. He's like, he knows everything about the paranormal everywhere. He's possessed. There's all kinds of problems with him.
Stop it. Be nice to poor Boris.
Okay. Personal experiences. Again, you saw it. We rode the boat around the island. We knew about the island.
Yes. We did not step foot on the island, so we can't really give you super personal experiences, but we did ride around it. And
we got pretty close. So, anything else you would like to add to this video?
Nope.
Buckley Island. All right, folks. Till next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting. Thanks, Boris.
Yep.
Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting.